I should have known. I did know. That's why I had those on. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan. I'm a homeschool mom to 6 kids, wife to John, and today on my channel, I'm just gonna give you an update on how our homeschool year is going. Let's dive right in. All right, so at this point, we have gotten 6 solid weeks of school in. It would be 7, however, we took a 1-week break for a much needed vacation a few weeks after the start of our school year. But we are a good solid 6 weeks in as of today, and I just wanted to do a homeschool update, just kind of talk through how our year is going so far, some great high points, and maybe some things that I can already foresee we need to work on just a little bit. So as I said, I am a homeschool mom to 6 kids. 5 of them are actually homeschool age. So I have a 7th grader, a 5th grader, a 3rd grader, a 2nd grader, and a kindergartner this year. My youngest is 3. I don't even really call him pre-K, 3. I don't really do much at that age. That's just kind of my philosophy personally. He does go to a 2-day-a-week like preschool at our church, so he gets things there. But then also he picks up on a lot just being around what we do every day, especially picking up on things that I do with my kindergartner. But let's dive right into what this year is like so far. So if I had to sum it up in one word, I would say, well. I feel as if this school year is going very well. I took a lot of time this year, a ton of time, probably too much time, handpicking every piece of curriculum that is in our homeschool. And I think that that's a big portion as to why things are going really well. I've also obviously done that in the past too. And there are times when it hasn't gone well, even when I've done that. So that's why I say it's a portion of why things are going well. But all that to say, when I was going through curriculum, I was trying to be very, very mindful of each of my children's needs. Some of them I have one who is a very proficient reader and needs much more of a challenge, and so I had to make sure that I planned things above her level. I have one who is dyslexic, and he's about 2 grade levels below in reading, and so making sure that that is being tailored to and things like that. And so on and so forth. So this is a big year for us. This is probably one of the biggest transition years that we have had so far in our homeschool, because my oldest, him being in 7th grade now, there are actually some things that he is doing independently away from us, which, for example, science is one of those things. So let's talk about science first, since I mentioned that. So we are using Apology as Earth Science, and you guys, I have nothing but very positive things to say about Earth Science. We are using the student notebooks, and I actually really, really love having the student notebooks with this specific year of Apologia. We've done another Apologia in the past, and I didn't necessarily feel like it paid off to have the student notebooks with that one, but this one particularly, there's lots of great activities in there and things like that. So like interactive notebooking type things that are included in it, and it has been a great addition to this year in our science. Now, my oldest is not doing Earth Science with us since he's in 7th grade. He is actually doing Apology as General Science, and it's a doozy, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. It takes a lot of time for him. It's a big transition for him to go into that like workload, and it is written to be independent. So just know that if you have a child who's not quite ready to be completely independent with science, you're going to have to spend a lot of time with that child if you are going to put them in this science curriculum. My oldest is pretty independent, And this, like I said, has been a big transition for him, and I am having to help him along quite a bit. Of course, I think a lot of that is just, again, the transition of it all and just understanding what the expectations are for everything. He completed his first test and did very well, so that's a plus. But yeah, I just wanted to give that update. It is pretty intense, the general science is, but I mean, that's to be expected. It's to lay the groundwork for those upper level, like high school credit science classes. So that's our science. As far as history, I am absolutely loving our history so far. I will do a complete review once we get farther into our history curriculum. If you're not sure what curriculum we're using, I did a couple of videos on it. One's an unboxing, one's a flip through. We are using BiblioPlan. It is a curriculum that's fairly new to us. I learned about it through a really good friend of mine at church, and like I said, we're really, really loving it. It is built on a 4-year like classical cycle where you have ancient, medieval, exploration, and then modern times. And I really like that cycle where every year you go through a different 4-year cycle, like you do a different cycle each year, and then you just go back through the cycle again at greater depth. So I really like that a lot. It makes it easier to do as a family subject when you do a 4-year cycle like that, and you can make sure that you cover more ground, I feel like. As I said, we are really liking it. Look for an update video pretty soon on what I think of BiblioPlan so far. It's a lot of information, but it's a lot of good information. And like I said, we're loving it. My younger kids who are doing it as well, I have been surprised at how much they have gleaned from it as well. I didn't really expect as much retention as what they've gotten, but they've actually retained quite a bit, and it has led to some really, really awesome conversations. So yay, big win for our history for sure. And part of our history also is it does have a literature component. And so we have already read quite a few read alouds this year and really enjoyed those as well. We are going to read so many things this year. My plan is to do 2 read aloud review videos, one at the end of this first semester and one after school ends in the spring. I will do one then too. So look for those videos if you like my read aloud videos. I haven't done one in a while. Well, I did our morning basket for this month. So look for the morning basket for October here pretty soon. Okay, so I did make a change in one subject. I think that's the only one I've made a change in. No, 2. One is very slight. Okay, so for writing, I actually have a video coming up soon that is greater depth, like looking at the IEW's writing using like history-based writing. We are doing the one with my oldest that is medieval times. Very intriguing. We are really, really liking it. So if you're interested in that, then make sure you're subscribed because that video will be coming up soon. But I was going to continue doing structure and style with my 5th grader. We started that last year. It was going fine. But I actually, for right now, we will probably start structure and style with some of my other kids too once January hits. But the big change with that is that we are going to hold off until January to move back into that because we've had so many changes with adding an hour of tutoring every week with him and things like that for reading. And so we actually had a change with writing. We are just doing, it's put out by Scholastic, and it's just a workbook that I am having him go through with like writing prompts and just working through like punctuation and grammar and things like that being used in the sentences. So it's just a kind of a basic just writing curriculum that I'm having him go through, and it's going really well, and I am pleased with it. It is hitting the mark as far as just, you know, getting writing done and keeping it as a practice. And so that is one of the changes. The other change that I have made is Lily, my kindergartner. I was using master books. It was our kindergarten science curriculum that I was using with her. And I wasn't exactly like super impressed with it. It's over really, really fast. It's more reading than anything, and she just was not interested in the reading. She loves to read, and so because of that, we are using the Berenstain Bears Science and Nature book along with the Christian Liberty Nature Reader instead. So that's kind of what we've switched over to. It's more conducive to just a more literature-based Charlotte Mason-y feel to the science aspect of kindergarten anyway. And I should have known. I did know. That's why I had those on hand. But we tried the master books one. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. She just wasn't interested, and she was more interested in the actual like literature that I just mentioned. So we decided to go that route for us. So another thing I'm really enjoying this year is a lot of our conversations when it comes to Bible. So that's another change I guess we've had. I did a video on what we're using for Bible this year, and so I kind of wanted to update you guys on that, on what we're doing specifically right now. So all of the things in that video are still things that are going on as far as Bible in our homeschool. We're just not using some of those resources currently, but we will. So right now, as far as my globe is broken, please excuse. Okay. Anyway, so we have been using in our Bible video, I shared with you guys that we are using Faithpedias, or Faithopedia, Old Testament Faithopedia from Not Consumed Ministries. And we are not using the journals. We are only using the flip chart because of other things that we are doing for Bible this year as well. So one of the things we're really, really loving about Faithpedia is it is very like concise, like straight to the point. Okay, so we do a page a day. So like this one right here is teaching a big truth vocabulary word, which is transgression. And it goes along with the book of the Bible that we're studying, which is Numbers. Okay, so we learn about what transgression means, like the definition of it. And then there's all of these related verses that it references, all these passages, and it gives more information about how you see transgression used in the book of Numbers, and then of course all of these passages throughout Scripture. So it gives us the opportunity to practice looking up Scripture, to read Scripture together, and to discuss what transgression means, where we see that in those verses or those passages, and things like that. So it's a great it's great for like reading and discussion and just diving deep into Scripture. But then also the other component is every day we are reading a different psalm. And so because of that, because of the two different things, I just choose some days. So like if we have the word transgression, for example, they will write transgression, the definition of it, in these Bible journals that we have from Anna Vance Co. And they're just simple. I don't know if you guys can see that. Very simple Bible journals. Some are primary lines with the drawing space up above. One of my kids pulled that out. With the space up above, and then some are just normal lines. And so I'm not going to show you exactly what's in there, but basically they'll write and then they will illustrate each day something about a passage or a verse or a definition of a word, whether it be on the passage of Psalm that we read for the day or on our Faithopedia, something that I want them to remember or write down from there. So if it's from Faithopedia, usually, like I said, it's something like a word like transgression, so they can learn what that means. If it's something from a psalm that we read that day, we will read the psalm, and I always instruct them, what is the part that stands out to you the most while we are reading through this? And it's really interesting to see that each of my kids a lot of times will pick out a different part of the psalm that kind of sticks out to them more than any other part in it. And so I usually have them write out that portion of the psalm and then draw a picture to go with it. And then we discuss why that stood out to them in that psalm. And it's just been a really beautiful time of just talking about and reflecting on scripture for my kids. And it's a little bit different pace than what I originally planned for our Bible time, but it's been really fruitful and just been really one of my favorite parts of the day, which is how we start our day every day. So that makes it even better that our homeschool starts with this right before it. So that's what we're doing for Bible. That is, this is a different component or an added component than what I outlined in our What We're Doing for Bible video. We will go through our catechisms, like just very basic through our catechisms in our morning menus and stuff, but we're not reading our catechism devotional right now. I don't remember the name of it. I shared it in the video. We've used it for a little over, well, we started using it last semester last year. So, but we've taken a break from it for this year, just to dive a little more deep into scripture and still have that going, but scripture has been in the forefront, which as it should be. But it's been a really great time. Sorry, that got really long-winded. So I guess, oh, the other thing I did want to update on is, you guys, I love this planner so very much. I shared a look inside this planner as well. I am not affiliated with Anna Vance. Like, I'm not an affiliate or anything. Maybe I should be. Anna, if you're watching, maybe I should be. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, but I love this planner, and I shared the layout that I chose and everything. And you guys, it is really hard for me to stay consistent with planning. But this has been pivotal and, again, just very fruitful for this year. It has, because I got to choose, I think because I got to customize and choose all the components of this planner, it has helped me be more consistent. But I don't know, it has just been really nice. I really love this planner. I love the layout of it. If you're curious about it, I'll link the video to this down below. But I think that's it, guys. That's kind of my update. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If there's anything you want to see inside of or ask more deeper questions about or anything like that, just let me know. I am trying to go through each piece of our curriculum this year and kind of do a review on it, like a look inside how we use it, because we don't always use it the way it's meant to be, like our spelling, for example, which I did a video on the other day. That's another thing I'm loving, is our new spelling. But if there's anything that you have more questions about or want to see, then make sure you're subscribed and stick around, because I'm going to be slowly sharing throughout the year the parts of our curriculum, like of our homeschool. Also, I would love if you guys would share in the comments down below. Let me know, how is your school year going? How is it going? I hope it's going well. If not, you know, like, I had a few misses. I think we all do. It's weird if we don't have a miss, right, on curriculum or how something's going, or it's weird if we don't have some kind of change within the first, you know, month or two of our homeschool. It seems odd, doesn't it? So share down in the comments below how your homeschool year is going, and I will see you guys on future videos. Thank you so much, you guys, and have a blessed day.